Hey guys, Vegan Merchant RV here, back with another video, and today I'm back with some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we continued our investigation in Rise from the Ashes. We went over to the police department to investigate the murder that happened there, and we found out that Jake Marshall may or may not have been involved in this case. We're gonna figure that out in this trial, hopefully. Because we're on our second day of trial. This is going to be our trial former. Like I've mentioned repeatedly, the trials are split up into trial former and trial latter. This is the trial former. Also, Happy New Year, guys! I didn't say so in the last video because I didn't realize it was going up after the New Year's, but Happy New Year's, everybody! I hope this New Year brings you all a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, less stress than the last couple of years, hopefully, maybe. We'll figure that out when we get there, yeah? But no, I hope you guys had a great holiday season. I hope you guys will have a great year. For now, let's just jump right into this game, yeah? So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. Honestly, if Miles has anything figured out, like anything more figured out than what we do, then I will be shocked. And it will probably be because I wasn't expecting that. Anyways. After all, the victim was murdered at two different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope I didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Okay, Lana doesn't seem to feel about anything regarding this case or about Jake Marshall being pointed fingers at regarding this case. Pointed fingers at? Don't know what that meant, but okay. Oh well. The defense the defense is ready as usual, and so is the prosecution? It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Nick, you do that all the time, and you bluff your way through court all the time. Anyways, let the trial resume. Yes, I agree with the judge. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Again, I don't think this guy has it in him to commit murder. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Yeah, but again, I don't think this guy has it in him to commit murder. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir! That's not an occupation. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir! It was me, sir! I'm the one who did it! I'll never kill anyone again, sir! You've got to believe me, sir! Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is... Sir! I'm what you would call a part of the younger generation, sir! A person whose actions adult can't possibly comprehend... What? Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Why are you mimicking the... Officer Meekins. Yes, sir! Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir! As you wish! After all, I am part of a generation that must be What? You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. No, you really can't. But you can't fault him for too much enthusiasm. Anyways, although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. Suddenly, I was attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
Okay, sure. What I need here is more info to work with. And that's a clue for you to press every single statement. And when I say every single statement, I literally mean you're going to be pressing every single statement that Mike Meekins makes. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot is created by the chief detective, sir.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love the Blue Badger theme. That was my sole mission for okay, the sole mission was to make sure it wasn't broken.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
Spotted suspicious man, you gotta press on that. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh? But the number 4989596
is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no mere mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Well, that's good to know, I guess.
Only doing what you were trained to do. That's great. Press.
So you were attacked. Can you tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir. A knife.
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into.
That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, strangling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. You fought your life. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun it around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white clothes drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir! And then you blacked out. So you blacked out because he punched you in the face.
About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. It's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gunn delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief delivered it? What is that? Videotape?
Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like the communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us this video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
I guess we'll figure that out as we get there, huh?
Okay, Blue Badger. Nothing there. Goodman, or at least it looks like Goodman. Goodman opens his locker, and it's definitely him then. That has to be him if it's opening his locker. That Meekins. Okay. Ooh. And Meekins is knocked out. Wonderful. Wonderful. Oh my god, Miles. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that riddling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
No, I don't think anyone is surprised that that's not going smoothly. It's fine.
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Oh, he's giving me another testimony. Cool, great, awesome, whatever. Whew. His face can't be seen clearly in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Are you sure about that? What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start.
And there is definitely a problem. I didn't point it out when we were looking at the video, but there is definitely a problem. Where is it? There we go. You press on that statement, the very last one. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is,
Unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? There is a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting.
Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've had to do that. You can do it! It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching the video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates this man may not be Detective Goodman?
Okay, we're on the bottom screen here. I gotta be fast. Oh god. So yeah, the B button will help. Obviously, you can tap on it, but the B button will help pause. The Y button can have you rewind. The A button fasts forward. That's all you really need to know. We are going to present this light right above Detective Goodman's locker. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Why is the Blue Badger music playing again? When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Wait, no, go back. You missed it. Go back. Okay. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Okay. Order. What is the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh, well, just goes to show an officer should keep their mouth shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor? Say,
There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too! There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. And there definitely is. We're gonna look at the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, and we're gonna point out the cause. Alright, we're back on the bottom screen. I'm actually going to fast forward here real quick. Okay, we're gonna have to slow down a bit. There we go. So you see that thing that just fell right out of the locker? You gotta present that. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of a part I showed you earlier. Oh, no more Blue Badger music? Come on. The Blue Badger music, man.
what's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my... We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Why is there no Blue Badger music? I love the Blue Badger music. I love the Blue Badger music. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door whenever I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also need to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene,
there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out.
very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
It was the rubber glove. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that it was by the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear so, sir!
Order! 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 So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, is not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Okay. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
One more Mystery Man Part 2, let's go! There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. No, we all have that record, buddy. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
No, it really doesn't. Your hair's already spiky enough.
There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination.
Oh yeah, we got something we can object to here. We got something we can object to. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, you have to present. Where's the missing item report? Yeah, Goodman's lost item report on this statement. Wait 1 moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, correct?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order, order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order, order, order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo?
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... Well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department on 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only be take place at one location, the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ah! Yeah, we might have accidentally just done that. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim that Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object or wait and see what happens? Object!
Objection!
1 moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. We get it. We can stop looking at the video now. We get it. We get it. You don't have to keep playing the video. We get it. We don't have to keep playing the video. We get it. However, it cannot be said that it's unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Easy peasy. Jake Marshall.
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees with the defense's request. Since he was responsible regarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witnesses
Sub what? Sub what? The hell is that word? What is that word?
Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess.
Lana, you got anything to say?
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got something for us?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty, and to top it off, you had to call me here? I've seen happy people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh, okay. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Can I bother you to bring the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident?
But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Skye was a witness? Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana! This SL9 incident. Is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No. No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gaunt, Miles Edgeworth? Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Unfortunately, that's gonna have to wait until next time. But, you know, as has been alluded to for the past few sequences, this case is very, very related to the SL9 incident that happened 2 years ago. And now we find out that Lana and Emma were also central figures in that case. What's going on? We're gonna figure that out. But until then, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!